Hey everyone, we got some more big news out of Nikola this morning. The company's saying it's going to issue some convertible notes that are due in 2024, and investors are not happy about this news. The stock price is down over 20% after this announcement. So, in this brief video, I'll discuss this announcement and what it could mean for Nikola stock investors. So, let's get right into it. So the company's offering 125 million in aggregate principal amount of senior convertible notes. So this is a debt instrument that can be turned into stock at the option of the lender. So the lender can choose whether to convert this into shares of stock, and typically they will do that if the stock price rises over their conversion price. If it doesn't, then they'll just keep it as debt that needs to be repaid. So they hold the option. They can convert if they choose, or they cannot convert. So $125 million is a significant sum, to be sure, and investors were not happy about this news because of the potential for diluting existing shareholders. The stock price was down 23% on the day after this announcement. Of course, the company had raised capital in its most recent quarter, and the company has gotten authority to raise the number of shares outstanding. Remember, they were capped out, they were maxed out, and then they recently got approval to almost double their existing shares outstanding from 800 million to 1.6 billion. So they have the authority to raise the number of shares outstanding. So they had 226 million as of their latest update, but interestingly, in their most recent earnings conference call, management had highlighted their capital use and capital needs. So during the most recent quarter, their cash burn was $148 million. Um, However, the company said they had access to over $743 million, and they currently anticipate being EBITDA neutral by the end of 2025. They estimate they will need approximately $600 million more to get them to the point where they are self sustaining in terms of cash flow. So between now and the moment they can be self-sustaining, management was estimating they needed $600 million. So this 125 million will not be the end of their capital raising, according to what management is saying, according to what management has said. But also they said in the most recent update in their earnings call, they said they have adequate cash on the balance sheet to sustain themselves well into 2024 or into 2024. So with this additional 125 million that they're raising with this deal here, that should give them more runway to bridge that gap between 2024 and the end of 2025, when they will become EBITDA neutral, which is almost the same as being cash flow neutral, but not quite. It's just a proxy for approximating cash flow. And so this won't be the end of Nikola raising capital, right? So if you're an investor and you're disappointed with this news, well, I've got more news for you. The company's going to be raising more capital, almost $500 million more of issuance this company's going to need to do, according to what they said, according to what Nikola management said. They're going to need 600 million of additional capital to fully fund the business model and achieve profitability. So if you were in this stock thinking they weren't going to raise cash, you were mistaken, because they are going to do this, and they're likely going to do this again. This isn't necessarily bad news. This is just something the company said they were going to do, and now they did it. In fact, I would have read this as being sort of good news, because management said that they've got enough money to last them into 2024. So they were not in any urgent need to raise cash. So the fact that they actually committed to this deal can tell you that they like the terms. Management liked the terms of this deal, and they agreed to it. Otherwise, they didn't need to agree to it. They weren't in urgent need. They weren't in a desperate need to raise this cash. They said they had enough until 2024. So looking at it from that context, you can say, all right, not so bad. They're doing what they said they would be doing. They're raising capital. They're funding the business like they said they need to do. It's just another step in the direction that they've said that they need to take. That being said, the stock is highly speculative and it's very risky, and there are other reasons not to own Nikola stock. But this particular news is in my opinion not, one of those reasons. But then again, this stock has been incredibly volatile, jumping up and down 20%, over 100% in a month. And so this has become typical of Nikola stock. It's volatile. Anytime news comes out, the stock price jumps up or crashes down. It's something you've got to get used to if you're a Nikola stock investor. But that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.